Welcome back. Well, it's all going to be about Harvey from here on out, and unfortunately, we're going to be talking about this system for days, and it may not be out of our hair, so to speak, until about this time next week. We'll have to wait and see. I'm going to give you a couple of model solutions coming up in just a bit. First off, though, we have some active showers and storms, not directly, but we can't say they are indirectly associated with Harvey to the south. Tropical moisture moving in. We're seeing showers and some storms across the area. Of course, you can see the latest online at KETC.com and also the KETC weather apps. But pretty healthy cell here. Gusty winds and a tropical downpour in Acadia Parish just north of the I-10 corridor. Moving to the northwest, that looks like a pretty nasty cell. Might have some gusty winds in the 35 to 45 mile per hour range. And this is the way it's going to go from here on out. Scattered storms tomorrow, I don't think as much as what we're seeing today, but we're going to see that. You can see as we look at the infrared satellite imagery, notice we have the outflow, the top of the high pressure ridge with Harvey to the south of us, enhancing those storms. So the possibility is some strong to almost severe storms with very gusty winds and torrential downpours likely. And we might see that again tomorrow, although I think rain chances might be a little bit lower as Harvey gets a little bit more consolidated on the satellite imagery. And that's what it's been doing all day long. They got the hurricane hunters in there today. They found pressures dropping like a rock. So it went from a tropical storm last night up to a hurricane today. And now we're talking about an 85 mile per hour storm. And satellite imagery, this is the 5-minute GOES imagery, really showing that eye wall beginning to develop, although it is not completely closed. This is on the way to becoming a major hurricane for sure. So right now, 85 mile per hour winds moving to the north-northwest, and we do expect this to strengthen to a Category 2 storm later tonight and a 3 by tomorrow morning, and then heading toward the Texas coast tomorrow night into Saturday. That's when the big heavy rains develop, and of course you're going to have a storm surge greater than 12 feet, maybe along and just east of the center. Now tides along the Louisiana coast are going to come up several feet. We're thinking at least 2 to 3, but we'll talk more about that in a bit. And then the big question marks start after it does its disastrous flooding and hurricane thing in Texas. The remnant system will be moving eastward, perhaps as a tropical storm now, over the open water of the Gulf of Mexico with a small window of opportunity to develop. But the European model brings this system back out into the water sooner, bouncing off a ridge off to the north and following a weakness off to the northeast, and we could have something more, and we'll show you that in just a bit. Tropical storm warnings, hurricane warnings for much of Texas from Raymondville all the way up through Corpus Christi and Victoria, and this is where the heavy rains are going to be with this system. So let's look at that European model. Now, I think this is a worst-case scenario, not only for Texas, but perhaps for us down the road if the model's right. The models are never right, but this gives us a pretty good guidance. Slow-moving storm as we go through the weekend, but notice center of circulation doesn't go much farther north and east from where it makes landfall, then gets back out over open water as we go into Monday and Tuesday. And then we are looking at more than just perhaps a tropical storm threatening Louisiana, perhaps a hurricane. And I think that's kind of what we have to prepare for just in case. This is the worst case scenario right here, but the European model is a very trusted model and it does a great job. Look at the rainfall forecast. I think this is spot on. Rainfall totals, look at this, Victoria, Galveston, better than 30 inches of rain. These hot spots are 30 to 40 inches of rain. This is accumulations through next Friday, and notice as we get into southwest Louisiana, portions of Acadiana, we're going to see some pretty big rain totals as well. So what does it all mean for us? And we'll be posting this online. Harvey impacts, storm surge along the coast, where tides are going to come up 2 to 4 feet, I think, this weekend. We don't have good guidance, but I think this is our best guess now. And then going into next week, the increasing threat of a surge. Flooding rains, outer rain bands like today, tomorrow, and Sunday will be the same. Heavier squalls developing Monday. And then even if we have just a tropical depression or storm, an 8 to 12 inch rainfall for Acadiana, isolated amounts up to 15. But this system will be moving, so I don't expect an August repeat, but there will be, let me go back to that, there will be some areas that do flood, but not as widespread. Wind damage, hard to predict. We'll say 30 to 40 if it's the GFS model, 30 to 45 mile an hour gusts Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, perhaps. European model, we're talking hurricane winds. Tornado threat will be there, depends on the track. correct. So in the near term, quiet overnight tonight. We'll go with partly cloudy skies. Then for tomorrow, mostly sunny. And then we might see some of those squally showers trying to work their way inland late in the day. I'm going 40% on your rain chances tomorrow, then a gradual increase as we go throughout the weekend. And that's reflected in the 10-day forecast. 60% on rain chances Saturday, Sunday. I think we're okay this weekend. No major weather issues other than increased rain chances, no flood issues. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, those are the red letter days where we will be tracking Harvey and its potential local impacts that should diminish come Thursday. After that, the weather looks nice and fine going into the following weekend, which is good because I have plans to go see the Mets and the Astros. But in the near term, we are going to be working overtime in the weather lab because we have a system that is going to be a major storm. It's going to slow down to a crawl. It's going to produce disastrous flooding in Texas. And then a wobbling, nearly stationary system is very hard to predict. So we can have anything from a weak depression or tropical storm all the way up through a hurricane going into next week. And I would prepare for the worst just in case.
Right, have to.
And be ready for at least some rains and some wind. But what exactly? Can't tell you
Still
that.
don't know, yeah.
No.
All right.